Hello and welcome back to AI for Seniors, the series where I show you how you can use AI in your daily life for work or just for fun. As always, we're going to take it super slow, we're going to keep it simple, and we're only going to learn what we really need to know. Nothing complicated. In today's video, I'm going to show you how you can write things with AI. So anything from books, poems, messages, emails, whatever. So stay tuned. It's going to be a very fun lesson. Just to get started, who am I? My name is Kourosh and I built an accessibility tool for my dad, who's an older guy. Then I made that tool available to the world and I started speaking to older people on a daily basis, which made me realize how little easy information there is out there to teach older people how to really use this amazing new technology. I use AI myself on a daily basis, so these videos are basically just me giving you my knowledge. But without further ado, let's get right into it. So here's what we will learn today. I split this up into two different levels, and level 1 is going to show you how you can get the AI to write something for you. In level 2, we're going to learn how to properly use the power of AI, not to do the writing for us, but to be our writing partner. It's going to be very interesting, so just bear with me. So, I think the best way is to just get started and write something with the AI. Now, the first step is to open ChatGPT, which is, again, a very large AI app. The way you can do this is by opening your browser on your computer and typing in chat.com up here, and then you click on enter. And that will take you to ChatGPT. Now, the next thing you do is you click into this text field, and we just now can write our instruction to the AI. By the way, if you haven't used ChatGPT before, they might ask you to set up an account. Go ahead and do that. It's fully free. And in my ChatGPT video, I also show you how you can set up the data settings so none of your information is stored by them or used to train any other AI. Just let's continue. Let's assume you have an account. So in this text field, you write the instruction that you want the AI to follow. And because you want it to write something for you, we start the instruction with write me. All right. And I'm just going to ask it to write me a poem about my cat. So write me a poem about my cat Romeo. He's a Russian blue. Make it a short poem and make it about how kind he is. There we go. And then once you have your instruction in here, you're just going to click on this arrow button and then the AI gets to work. So I didn't actually type out the prompt. I used my accessibility tool that I built for my dad, which is a dictation tool. I prefer that over typing just because typing can take forever. And as you will see in this lesson, we really sometimes have to write long instructions for the AI. But there we go. So the AI wrote a short poem. Romeo with his coat of blue has a heart so gentle too. Cute, right? All right, let's try something else just so we really understand how it works. We need to start a new chat with the AI. The way you can do that is by going to the sidebar here and you click on new chat. There we go, we're on a new chat. This time I'm gonna ask it to write an email to my friend Tom to tell him that I can't come to our game tomorrow. Write an email to my friend Tom to let him know that I won't make it to the football game tomorrow. All right, I click on enter, but you can also click on the arrow. And then there we go. We have the email. Hey, Tom, blah, blah, blah. I won't make it to the football game tomorrow. Now, remember, this is a conversation that you're having with the AI. Do you want it to change anything about that email? Simply write it down here. And let me just make it more formal. Make it more formal. And then I click on the arrow and I send it. And again, the AI will get to work and write me a more formal email. So whatever you get the AI to write for you, you can always ask it to edit it for you. It's not a single instruction and output. It is a conversation, just like you'd have it with a human. Which brings me to my next point. The most important thing when it comes to working with AI is to write the best possible instructions. So remember, the AI is not human, but it makes things so much easier if you think of it as a human. So imagine this, you have an assistant and you're asking that assistant to bring you coffee. You can just say, get me coffee. Now, your assistant doesn't know how you like your coffee. Do you like it black, with milk, with sugar inside? What do you like? So your assistant will struggle. They'll bring you back coffee, but it probably won't be the coffee you really want. Or instead, what you can tell your assistant is, get me a cappuccino with 2 sugars in it. In this case, your assistant doesn't have to struggle. They don't have to guess what coffee you want, and you really do get the coffee that you wanted. And it's exactly the same thing with the AI. Writing better instructions gives you better results. So as we saw before, I just said, hey, write a poem about my cat Romeo and make it short and make it about how kind he is. And as you saw, the AI, of course, they gave me a result, but maybe this is not the result that I really wanted. What if the result I really wanted was, write me another poem about my cat Romeo. He is a Russian blue. Make it a short poem about how kind he is, but make it about how he caught a mouse a few days ago and write it in the style of Shakespeare. So I gave a couple more instructions and now I send it on to the AI and now it will actually get me the result that I wanted, which is about Romeo catching that mouse. So let's just go through it with a very simple example. This is a bad prompt. Write a poem about my cat. Doesn't really tell the AI anything, but you'll see that if I start a new chat and I just say, write me a poem about my cat, the AI will still give me something back. These AIs are built to just give you results, all right? So it will never be like, oh, I don't know enough, so I'm not gonna do it for you. It will always try to please you and give you something back. But it's a bad prompt because you're not gonna get what's in your mind. Instead, you could write a poem about my cat. He's a beautiful Russian blue with green eyes. He's calm, loving, and affectionate. His name is Romeo, and write it in the style of Shakespeare. So in the bad prompt, we only had a subject, which is my cat. In the second prompt, we had the subject, we had the details about his beautiful green eyes, about his character, and we also had a style, which is in the style of Shakespeare. And this will actually get me what I wanted. So whenever you want the AI to write something for you, the more instructions you give, the better it will perform, just like a human. And if you don't want to take the time typing it all out, try my dictation tool. Why not? So let's move on to level 2, which is writing with the AI. And what is the difference between writing with the AI and getting the AI to write for you? Well, in the first case, the AI does the writing. In the second case, we do the writing and the AI helps us. And let me tell you why this is important by explaining to you how the AI actually works. So the way that the AI works is that it's a computer program that does things that usually require human thinking, such as answering questions, writing messages, and finding information. The AI is trained on the entirety of the internet, and it's nothing more complicated than using autocomplete on your phone. So if you've ever written a text message on your phone, you will have noticed that when you write a word, your phone will give you the next word as an option. Or, for example, if you write the first 2 or 3 letters of a word, for example, TR, it will give you tree as the option. The reason for that is that the phone knows the most common thing that will come after writing the letters T and R, which is tree. The phone knows that if your first word in your sentence is how, then the next words are very likely are or is, like how are you, or how is this done? The AI basically works exactly the same. When you ask it, what color is the sky? It will come back with blue. And the reason why it comes back with blue is not because it knows the sky is blue, but because based on all of the information it has from the internet, normally when someone asks the question, hey, what color is the sky? Someone else on the internet will reply with blue. So the AI is just auto-completing, essentially. That is all it is. So why is this important for our writing? Let me use the example of a formal email. So let's go and ask the AI to write a formal email to my boss to tell them that I'm resigning. Now, imagine the AI is trained on millions of formal emails. And it really is, because as we can see in the sign off here, it says kind regards, your name. The reason why it says kind regards rather than best regards or all the best or any other sign off is because most formal emails use the sign off kind regards. And this is where it becomes important for you in your writing. The AI doesn't create original work. It creates the most common work that it is trained on. So if you ask the AI to explain a rainy day, it will say the sky is gray. And it will say the sky is gray because most people, when they try to explain a rainy day, they say the sky is gray. So you're not getting original work. You're not getting work that is from you. You're getting the most basic work out there. Now, is that good? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. If you're fine with that, fine. But in a world where more things are becoming automated, where everything is made by robots, I think having your personal voice and your personal style out there is so much more valuable. And luckily for us, we can use the AI to enhance our voices. So instead of using the AI as someone who writes boring stuff for us, let's use the AI as our supporting character. Why not let the AI be our editor? Why not let the AI be our brainstorming partner or get the AI to help us organize our thoughts? So let me just show you what I mean. For example, let's go ahead with making AI our editor. Editors are expensive, right? Like we don't all have the money to pay for an editor to look over our writing or emails and all of that kind of stuff. So let's go to ChatGPT. Let's start a new chat by clicking on new chat up here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload a short story that I wrote. And you can upload files and stories and anything else by going to ChatGPT, go to the input field, the text field, and click on the plus button. And then you click on add photos and files. And then down you select the file that you want to add. And in my case, it's the story Romeo and the open window. Now I go back to my slides and I pre-wrote this prompt, this instruction, which is you are a writing editor, read this short story, don't rewrite it, tell me which parts are confusing, repetitive, or could be improved. There we go. So rather than asking the AI to write something for me, I'm asking it to critique what I wrote and be my editor. And AI is really, really good at that. So there we go. It came back with the opening is repetitive. Some sentences are overly simple. The pigeon scene is funny but predictable. So these are just some ways that I can use the AI to critique what I wrote. Now, this doesn't just have to be with short stories. I can also give it a letter or an email or a message that I wrote and ask it to critique it. Like, is my email too formal? Am I being too vague? All of that. Like, it's still my writing. It's just someone else is looking over it and giving me suggestions on how I can improve it. And it's totally up to you whether you want to have it improved or not. There we go. So now AI is my editor. Another way that you can use the AI, if you're thinking about writing something but your thoughts are a little bit all over the place, use the AI as your brainstorming partner. So let's say you want to write a story or your biography or even a memoir, you don't really know where to start. So let's use the AI to help us understand where we can start and how we can get going. Let's go back to ChatGPT and open a new chat. And I have again pre-written an instruction in the slides that I'm going to share with you as well that you can use for this case. So I said, I want to write my memoir. Don't write it for me. Act like an interviewer. Ask me questions about my childhood one at a time and help me remember stories that might be interesting. At the end of this chat, I want an outline of the book that will help me get started with writing it. There we go. So I'm just going to send this on to the AI. And now what it's going to do, it's going to ask me one question at a time. So what is the earliest memory from your childhood that you can actually picture clearly? Well, in my case, it was my earliest memory. It was New Year's in Tehran where we did some fireworks with my grandmother. There we go. This is my earliest memory. I grew up in Iran in Tehran, so there we go. Now the AI has my first response, and it's just going to continue asking me questions. And over time, once I answer all of these questions, the AI will still remember the goal of the chat, which is an outline of the book. So like that, I can do some brainstorming with my AI, right? Like I don't have to call up my friend who has to then listen to me for 20 minutes. You can use that for absolutely anything. Whenever you have an idea in your mind, explore that idea with the AI. Let it be your devil's advocate, whatever you want to do with it. Again, it's still your ideas. It's still your thoughts. You're just getting the AI to help you with your original thoughts. So you can brainstorm about absolutely anything. If it's ideas that you're exploring, as I just said, or if you already have an idea and you're already writing something, for example, a story, and you want to talk about different plot points that you have in mind, like you don't know what to do in the next chapter, brainstorm with the AI. You can talk about character dynamics and whether they make sense. Like truly, the sky is the limit. If you take anything from this video, is that AI is flexible. Just whenever you have a question, just ask it. If you don't know how to use the AI, ask the AI how to use it, right? So it's a lot of things that we can do with it. Now, in my opinion, you can just end this video right now and go ahead and write stuff with the AI. But I'm now going to talk about a very, very powerful feature in ChatGPT, which will allow you to write more long-form content and to get the AI to memorize your style and like your story and what you really want to talk about. So something that is really important for you to understand is that the AI has a limited memory, just like a human. But with the AI, it's a little bit more extreme. So let me just show you. Let's go back to ChatGPT and start a new chat by going up here and clicking on new chat. Now I'm going to ask the AI a question of where am I traveling to in October? And the AI does the thinking, the remembering. And it says, I don't have any safe context for where you're traveling in October. Funny. 2 weeks ago, I spoke to ChatGPT about where I'm traveling in October, but it doesn't remember, right? So between different chats that you start with your AI, it will not have any memory of the previous chat. So if you're writing something that is long form, or if you're writing something that requires your specific style, you will have to re-explain that every single time you have a conversation with ChatGPT. And that can be incredibly annoying. And projects are a way to fix that. So let's use them and let me just show you how they work. So what is a project? A project is like a folder for one specific thing that you're working on. And the project has a memory. Let me just show you. So for example, I have a business, right? And I have a project here that says my business. Now, if I click on this project, we can see that I have all of these chats about my business, and I have this source, which is Voicey Overlook, which is a text file where I explain my business. All right. So this source, this information here is stuff that the AI will always remember. So let's just create a project for writing styles. Let me do that now. The way you can create a project is by going to the sidebar and clicking on projects, and then you click over here on new. You give the project a name, for example, my memoir. And now we create the project, and there we go. I can either already go ahead and start a new chat with the AI about my memoir, but what you should do is you should click down here in the sources and you can add sources. Remember, these sources are essentially bits of information and memory that the AI will remember about you and this project. So if I add a source here, it will give me an option to upload, where if I click on it, I can select the file, which you can do as well. But for this case, let me just add a source, which is just a text input. Now in here, I'm just going to write my writing style. And now I'm going to explain my writing style. My writing style is very formal. I am always speaking in a very professional manner. Whenever I ask you to edit any text for me, remember my writing style. And then I will have it in here. And now I save it. There we go. So let me just show you how that works now. Let's click up here in the text field and start a new chat within this project. And let me just be cheeky and ask, what is my writing style? And now I click on send. Your writing is very formal and professional. The AI remembers. All right. So what you can do is you can create your project. You can upload sources. The AI will always remember between chats. You'd never have to repeat yourself. And that way you can actually write long form content without it getting very annoying. So there we go. This is how you can use projects. Again, all of this I talk about within the slides that you will have access to as well. But I highly recommend you use these projects in case you are doing long form writing. So you can upload your style, you can upload your life story, you can upload your outline for your book, you can outline any chapters, pages, anything that you've written before, and the AI will remember them, which will make the entire writing process across multiple different chats so much easier to understand. Now, once again, let me show you how you can actually write within the project. Let me just go to chat.com, and rather than using the chat field that appears immediately, I go to the sidebar, I click on projects, and then I click on my memoir, which is the project I want to talk about. Up here, I can start a new chat like we did many times in this video. Down here in the sources, I can add more sources. So I can add more information. Now, the only thing that you have to keep in mind with these projects is that you have to keep your material updated, right? So whenever you have something new, whenever you want to change something about your style or you've written a new chapter, update the sources, add more stuff to it, and the AI will remember it. All right? So here's what we learned today. We learned how to make the AI write for us, but then we learned how to write with the AI. Let the AI be our editor, our brainstorming partner, our organizer of our thoughts. And finally, we learned how to use projects for our work. Now, what I think you should do next is use the AI to write a few poems in the style of your favorite author. Start brainstorming with the AI about an idea that you have. It doesn't necessarily have to be about writing. It can be any idea that you have. Or go ahead and create your first project for your next big writing task. But most importantly, have fun. I really hope this video was useful to you. If you want to learn more about AI, subscribe to the channel, but also go back and check out some of the previous videos that we did on creating images, how to better use ChatGPT, and in general what AI is. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you didn't enjoy it, throw it in the comments. I'd love to know what I can do to improve. And also, if you have any topics in mind that you'd like to learn more about in terms of AI, also put it in the comments. We also just started a Facebook community where we share tips and tricks on a daily basis, and you can speak to other people who are starting to use AI in their daily life. Once again, most importantly, have fun, and thank you so much. Bye bye.